Good evening. Welcome to Convention of States Indiana Live. Do you think we have a big problem with our federal government? If you do, stay tuned because we at Convention of States have a solution as big as the problem. Our broadcast host is Dale Parrish. He's the Convention of States Indiana State Director. Take it away, Dale.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Maringo Mike, for getting us introduced and going. As Maringo Mike said, my name's Dale Parrish. I'm the State Director for Convention of States here in Indiana, and I want to welcome you to our broadcast this evening. We have another great broadcast. I'm really anxious to get involved and get going in this tonight. So, first of all, I just want to let you know that once again, the purpose of our broadcast is to reach out to primarily Hoosiers in the state of Indiana that perhaps don't know much about Convention of States, would like to learn more, would like to see about getting involved. And of course, we're open to anyone that is tuned in, even outside of Indiana. But that's our main purpose. Now, before we get going on our program tonight, I want to issue my standard warning. In the event that your screen would freeze up or go blank, please understand we've probably encountered a technical problem. And if that occurs, so please just don't wait for us to come back on. It just takes too long to get everything up and going again. So if that occurs, please go ahead and sign off and put us on your calendar for next Monday evening at 7 p.m. and join us again at that time. So I always like to issue that warning because it has happened in the past and probably will happen again. As you all know, technology is wonderful as long as it works, and sometimes it doesn't work. Tonight's program is very special. We have an award here in the state of Indiana that we give out to certain individuals in our organization. These are individuals that go above and beyond. I'll even actually bring up the picture of the award. It's called a Patriot pin. There it is. Hopefully you can see that okay. It is a pin. It is literally a pin that one can attach to your clothing. It can be worn as a brooch or it can be worn as a lapel pin on a sport coat or suit coat. So, but this pin is very special, and we're going to talk about that pin this evening. And I even have 3 individuals from our organization that have received this pin. And after I tell you a little bit more about the pin, I'm going to bring them on into our broadcast here, and we're going to have those 3 and myself all at one time. This is the first time that I've tried this, so I'm hoping it'll go okay and work for us. So we'll get into that, and we'll talk about the Patriot pin. Then I'll bring up my PowerPoint, and we'll get into talk about some numbers and some general information about the state of Indiana and Convention of States. Then we'll get into the basics of Convention of States, and then we'll wrap it up with some comments. We'll try to recognize those individuals that have tuned in tonight to listen to us, and then we'll close out. So without further ado, that's the pin that we're going to be talking about tonight, and it's called the Patriot pin. Now, I can't have the pin pictured and bring up the individual, so I got to get rid of my picture there, and let me bring up the individuals that are going to be joining us tonight. And there's 3 individuals. The first one here is Gary Harbaugh. The next one is going to be Ken Kashuba. And takes a few seconds to get them going up here. And the last one is John Ackerman. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Yeah, all right. Glad to have you. All right, let's get into talking about the Patriot pin. As I said, this is a special award that we give to certain individuals in our organization. Now, this is done nationally. I will say this: it's an award that's sponsored by our national organization, but it's up to each individual state to select the individual to be awarded this pin. So what I'm telling you this evening is how we do it here in Indiana. So it's the Patriot pin. Now, first of all, of course, as I've mentioned to you, it's a special recognition. This is an opportunity to recognize certain individuals in our organization that have gone above and beyond. We've awarded 13 of these pins so far, and try to recognize people as time goes on, and always enjoy. We try to do this during our monthly state call, where we have a conference call with all the leaders in Convention of States here in Indiana. And this is one of the things that we do is we award this pin to those in the individual, or perhaps two individuals that have earned recognition of this type. So it's a very special recognition. And as I said, these are individuals that I consider have gone above average, better than average. So they've excelled in what they do, and so it's deserving then that we recognize them with this award. Now, one of the things that helps them perform above and beyond is to take on special projects. And yes, here in the Convention of States here in Indiana, we always seem to have special projects that need to be done. And so you have to call on people to help do these special projects. And so these are individuals that have been willing to step forward and take on special projects. Another thing that then, in essence, by stepping forward, they're very responsive, and that is always good. That they are responsive, and so communication is a very, very important part of our organization. Very important thing that we try to stress all the time. And we have various ways of communicating with each other, and so it's very important that people respond. And these are individuals that were very, very responsive. And as you might understand, this takes a positive attitude. And so each of these individuals have displayed and have shown that they have a positive attitude in everything that they do here in Convention of States. And of course, last and one of the most important things anymore is they're team players. And here in our organization, and with any organization today, one person can't do everything. It takes a team, and we are a team here in Indiana. And these individuals have, as well as the other individuals that have received this award, individuals have displayed the willingness to be team players. So that gives you hopefully an idea as to what the excuse me, what the award is all about and why it's so special. So I want to turn to now the individuals that we've brought in to talk about this evening. And the first one that I would like to have stepped forward and talked to us is Gary Harbaugh. And Gary, you there?
I'm right here, Dale. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me on.
I see him. I see him. Well, Gary, since you're going to lead off here, tell us a little bit about how you got involved in Convention of States, what you do, and what the award means to you. And I'll just let you say what you want to say and the way you want to say it. So take it away.
Okay, I got involved with the Convention of States because I really saw the excessive growth of the federal government. I heard and I was a little bit familiar with what was going on, and Mark Meckler was in Fort Wayne. I went and heard him, and I wasn't sure that I was convinced at that time about it, but probably a few months later, I joined up and was asked to become a district captain and decided to take that role on. And then was later asked to step up to another role. And so I'm involved in Convention of States because I passionately believe that this train, so to speak, that we call the USA is headed for a bridge that's out ahead on the road. And so we've got to change direction and make some adjustments to what we're doing in the United States in order to get this in the right direction.
That's very good. This bridge ahead of us. I haven't heard you say that before. That's a very good analogy. Hey, Gary, you mentioned the different roles that you've played, and that's very important because leaders here in our organization do in fact go through different roles, generally speaking. You started out as a district captain, am I right?
That's correct.
Then you went to region captain.
Right.
Okay. And you are now currently co-state director in charge of operations.
Right.
Right.
And in many ways, the most important role in our organization really is the district captain, because they're on the front lines of the battle. But there's lots of leadership roles that need to be filled as well. People working either regionally or statewide, and so it's a learning process. As you learn and develop more, you kind of have the opportunity to take on additional roles if you're interested in doing so. And part of the thing about the Patriot pin is that I saw that people who were awarded this before me, they set a high mark as far as dedication, work ethic, positive attitude, things like that. So it was an honor to be given a Patriot pin. And really that pin, it inspires me to live up to the ideal that, that makes that something that, I can wear every day and feel like I'm earning it every day by doing the work that we need to get done.
Okay. Excellent. All right, Gary. Well, thank you very much. And Gary's well deserving of this Patriot pin. So thank you very much, Gary.
Thanks, Dale.
Let's bring on Ken Kachuba. And Ken, what do you do?
Hi, Dale.
Hi.
I do like a lot of people. I juggle a lot of balls. I juggle family. I used to juggle lots of different work aspects, and juggle my civil responsibilities throughout the last 20 or 30 some odd years. So there's life is busy, which is good, but I kind of like Gary. I kind of heard about Convention of States actually through social media, and started getting a little bit more information on it through the different websites, and Mark Levin and a few of the other programs that were out that were talking about this Convention of States. And I felt that over the years that I had done my civic duty to go to the voting polls, the voting booths every year and pull the lever for the candidate of my choice. But it seemed that year after year and election after election, it didn't seem that my pulling of the lever was doing any good. I just felt that there was a lot of issues that would be addressed prior to an election, and then after the election, it just kind of all disappeared.
Right.
I just kind of felt that that there had to be something else out there.
Okay.
So I investigated Convention of States a little bit more, and really felt that it addressed some of the areas that I felt I actually could do something more than just go and vote, which is obviously a great freedom and a great responsibility to have. But I wanted to do more. I had some grandkids on the way, and got some children that I felt I owed it to them to get involved and do something more, because I kind of like Gary said, I kind of felt that things were breaking, and quite frankly, I had no confidence that our government would fix itself.
Okay. All right, good. Now, Ken, Ken is our state communications coordinator, and he's kind of on the techie side a bit of our operation, and I wanted him to. We're gonna let the secret out of the bag tonight. As you saw, Marengo Mike introduced our program tonight. So, do you know Marengo Mike, Ken?
Yeah,
I actually have Marengo Mike on the phone here. Marengo, are you there?
Hi, Dale. Hi, Gary. Hi, John. Hi, Ken. How are you doing tonight? I'm so glad that I was able to kick this program off tonight and that you're using me. I know that people had lots of questions on where I came from and who I was, but here I am, Marengo Mike, looking to help any way I can in the COS Convention of States for Indiana.
All right. Well, thank you. Yes. Ken is Marengo Mike. He's the voice of Marengo Mike. So Marengo Mike is Ken's creation, and so he's continuing to work on that to make him better and better. So, all right, Ken, very deserving of the Patriot pin. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dale. It really did mean something to get that pin, because, as I said, I want to leave something behind for my kids and grandkids, and if they know that I participated and I gave it my all, and I tried to find areas that I could contribute and volunteer, that maybe the pin I can pass that on and leave that behind someday, and they'll know that they'll know that I did everything I could to try and help our country.
Excellent. All right. Thanks a lot, Ken. All right, let's bring on now our last individual here, John Ackerman. Hi, John.
Hi, Dale.
John, now I know you served in some different roles, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Since about this time of year, 5 years ago, it was about October of 2014 that I first heard of Convention of States, and first contact was through social media. And I've been concerned about the out-of-control federal government, particularly spending and federal intrusion into states' rights and cities and towns, for a long time, as long as I have been old enough to vote, really. And I've just been worried that we're going to lose our republic because we're headed in an unsustainable direction, And so when I heard about the Convention of States, I checked it out because, is it an also-ran? Is it some bogus organization? But as I checked it out, I found out this is the real deal. This is legit. Mm-hmm. And it's founded and led by, some of the foremost constitutional experts Mark Meckler, Michael Ferris. These guys, they're attorneys, and they know whereof they speak. And then when I heard that a great shining light like Mark Levin, published this book a few years ago, The Liberty Amendments. I didn't even know about that book. I just discovered it since then. Well, anyway, I signed up right away once I checked it out and found out that it was a legit organization.
Yeah, his book was very inspirational in my involvement too. Yeah,
I'm sure he's brought in tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of supporters.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So anyway, I signed up, and before long, your predecessor, our former state director, called me up and asked me if I'd be a district captain, and so I was.
Okay.
And as things progressed, I became a regional captain.
Right.
And I remember in the Indiana legislature session of 2015, going to the State House and lobbying and talking to my legislators. And we failed to pass the COS resolution that year. And so we regrouped, and we found out really the best time to lobby is during the summer between the legislative sessions. And so we got to work in that summer. And then it was in the General Assembly of 2016 that we got this thing passed, and it passed very handily in Indiana. And we are one of the, what were we, state number 6?
We are number 6, that's right.
Yeah. We're on the leading edge of this thing, and it's going to be a tsunami. And I'm glad to be part of it. I feel much the same way that Gary and Ken do about my sons and our grandsons, and what kind of country, and are we even going to leave a country to these young people? Right. And so I've dedicated some time over these years, and I'm committed for the future to making this thing happen and reminding the federal government what we the people means. It means you and me, the grassroots. And as a grassroots movement, I'm just all in to this organization. So right now, I've moved on from those other assignments. I've done a variety of things, but right now, I'm Indiana's social media warriors team leader. And we're always looking for people who are active in any form of social media who can help us promote COS. And the cool thing about that is, we're in Indiana, but social media reaches across the nation and around the world. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I'm responsible for is media liaison for radio and TV stations and newspapers in the state of Indiana. So we're just really getting started on that. But I've got kind of a background in some social media use and in media relations, and so I'm happy to help out to get the word out. We've got, what now, close to 40,000, or did we cross the 40,000 in India?
We're very close to 40,000 supporters there.
Supporters, people who've signed the petition. And my friend, if you're listening, I mean, you're listening tonight because you're hearing my voice, but if you haven't signed our petition yet, I ask you to do so and join the team. This is, in my judgment and a lot of people's judgment, this is the last best hope to save this great republic and to make it, what it once was, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, not for the fat cats and the politicians and the moneyed gentry. So that's how I feel about that, brother.
All right. Well, gentlemen, those were great testimonies that you just gave us. So I want to thank you very much for coming on and sharing. And I hope those of you that are viewing tonight, I hope you understand why these 3 individuals were awarded a Patriot pin. They are outstanding patriots. So once again, thank you very much, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm going to send you away right now. Okay?
Bye.
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 Okay, little program administration here. I had to get rid of them to bring up this next part. All right, I'm going to do a little modification here, and we'll will go ahead and bring up the, went the wrong way. I'll go ahead and bring up the PowerPoint, but I'm only going to do a portion of it tonight. I want to give you some information on our state and how we're doing in the state, and then we'll forego the basics for this evening. But stay tuned, or come back with us again next Monday night, and we'll certainly try to include the basics. I like to talk about the basics of convention of states every chance that we get, because for those of you that are new to convention of states or just wanting to learn more, these are the basic tenets that we believe in. So tune in next Monday night, and we'll do our best to include them. Just a couple slides here on how we're doing in the state of Indiana. Now, we have resources available to us here in Indiana. The first and major resource that we have available is our national website, conventionofstates.com. And for those of you that are tuning in for the first time or just learning about Convention of States, this is the first step we want you to take, and that is to go to this website, conventionofstates.com, open an account, sign our petition saying that you want to see a Convention of States come about. So that's the first step. This website has a wealth of information. Might also tell you that on the back side of this website is a database that we use to administer our organization here in Indiana, as well as nationally. So very, very important step, conventionofstates.com. Now, embedded in the national website is a state website page, conventionofstates.com/Indiana. A little more specialized look. Ken Kashuba, our state communications coordinator, maintains that state website page. Facebook, we're on Facebook. As a matter of fact, John Ackerman, the gentleman that was on this evening, he manages our Facebook page here in Indiana, Convention of States, Indiana. As a matter of fact, our broadcast this evening is coming to you through our state Facebook page. So that's just one of the many social media platforms that we're on. We have a YouTube channel, COS Indiana, very much an educational resource for you. We have some narrated PowerPoint presentations. We have recordings of these broadcasts that come to you. And also one of our individuals, another co-state director, Paul Phillips, he's also been on very frequently on our broadcast. He does a podcast called The Free to Be Free. And we have on our YouTube channel, we have links to all of his podcasts. They're very, very, very good and very educational. We're on Twitter, hashtag COS Indiana, Instagram, Convention of States Indiana. We're on LinkedIn, and always looking to, John Ackerman's always looking to get us onto any other social media platforms. So we're out there. You should be able to find us. Convention of States, here's some numbers for you real quick. In 2018, we surpassed 30,000 supporters. Been growing at a tremendous rate here in Indiana. 2019, we've established a goal of 40,000 supporters, and I think we're well within range of meeting that goal. So out of those supporters, we have about 2,900 that have indicated a willingness to volunteer if we need help in any particular area. We have about 40 individuals in leadership positions. Now, this is very important. If you have any desire to get more involved in Convention of States in Indiana here, I would urge you, please go to that national website, conventionofstates.com, click on the menu selection at the top, the menu selection, Take Action, and scroll down and look at the different volunteer opportunities that we have here in the state. If anyone's of interest to you, open it up, read about it. If you're really interested in it, go ahead and make application. Now, you're not obligated in any way. Don't worry about that. But if you make application, then your name will pop up on a report that I see, as well as a few others. And one of us then will be in contact with you to discuss further the interest that you may have in that particular position. Once again, you're not obligated in any way. So that's how you can, that's the way you can get more involved in Convention of States here in Indiana. If nothing else, go to the website, conventionofstates.com, open an account, sign the petition, and that's all you need to do. That gets you in our system, and so you'll be receiving various communications, and you'll be kept abreast as to what we're doing here in Indiana as well as nationally. All right. Well, I'm going to go back now to our program here, and I would like to identify who is with us tonight. James Ward. James, thank you for tuning in tonight. I see your name here. And there we got John. Looks like we got one or two others on here. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate you joining us this evening. Now, our next broadcast will be next Monday evening, which will be October 28th. And what we're going to do on that broadcast is we're going to talk about our training program. We have a district captain training program here in Indiana that is a supplement to the national training program. But I think it's very important for us to tell you about that program, because we try very hard to give our new district captains the best training possible. And we're, of course, always looking at how we can better and improve that program. So I felt it was I think it would be helpful for us to spend a little time to talk about that program, and so that you know what it's about, and maybe you might be interested in becoming a district captain for us here in Indiana. Now, also, I want to let you know, as you know, on our last broadcast, we had the first installment of our constitutional literacy series. Well, the next installment will be on November 18th. So you'll want to make a point to tune in for that broadcast, because those are going to be very, very interesting and educational. So I hope you'll be able to join us on November 18th for another installment of Constitutional Literacy, which is brought to you by one of our volunteers, Debbie Stewart. All right. Let me get down here now and bring up a picture that I like to use when I close. You know, one of our co-founders, Mr. Mark Meckler, who is currently president of Convention of States, he said one time that, he said, you know, there's a fundamental question facing our country. And that fundamental question is not what should we do? The fundamental question is who will decide? So I've always really liked that quote, and I try to use that as frequently as I can. So the question facing us is a two-word question, and it's very simply, who will decide? And I think when you become part of Convention of States, you realize that we believe we, the people, should have a bigger say-so in who decides in our country. So with that in mind, folks, I want to thank you for tuning in this evening. I know we've gone a few minutes over our normal time of about 30 minutes, so I appreciate you hanging on. And once again, I want to thank the gentlemen that joined us this evening. I hope you enjoyed hearing their story and what they do and why they are Patriot Pin recipients here in the state of Indiana. So with that, I'll say good night, everyone, and have a good evening. Thank you very much.